helping to inspire a culture of excellence and service to country. The maneuvers you will see demonstrated this afternoon are coordinated tactical techniques developed by Navy and Marine Corps pilots in both peacetime training and actual combat. These maneuvers are neither stunts nor daring feats, but are refinements of basic techniques taught to every prospective naval aviator. Here at Seafair, we will demonstrate these maneuvers at very low altitude in traditional Blue Angel formation so that you may see and take pride in the precise fashion in which your Navy and Marine Corps pilots are trained to fly. Having completed their takeoff maneuvers at Boeing Field, the 6 demonstration pilots have rendezvoused into the Blue Angel Delta. In this formation, the 2 solo pilots have joined in the outboard positions to create our signature 6-plane formation. As they approach, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce the demonstration pilots you'll be watching perform here this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, Flying Blue Angel number 1, the commanding officer and flight leader of the Blue Angels from Fargo, North Dakota, Captain Brian Kesselring. Flying Blue Angel number 2, the right wingman from Yorktown, Virginia, Lieutenant Chris Kapushansky. Flying Blue Angel number 3, the left wingman from San Francisco, California, Lieutenant Scott Goosens. Flying Blue Angel number 4, the slot pilot from Kingwood, Texas, Major Frank Zastapil. Flying Blue Angel number 5, the lead solo from Atlanta, Georgia, Lieutenant Commander Kerry Rickoff. Flying Blue Angel number 6, the opposing solo from Woodlawn, Tennessee, Lieutenant Commander Julius Bratton. As the Delta approaches, you should get a good look at the entire Blue Angel formation prior to the individual diamond and solo maneuvering. Now, directly before you, the Blue Angels 2022. Behind the spectator area, Blue Angels 5 and 6 are accelerating to 400 miles per hour and pulling back towards the show line. To the left and right, the 2 solo pilots have turned on their smoke as they approach for the first of their opposing maneuvers. Ladies and gentlemen, the opposing 360 pass. The Blue Angel Diamond will momentarily be making its approach from the right. In relatively slow speed flight, they will give you an opportunity to get a close look at the precision flying that produces the 18-inch wingtip to canopy separation between these 4 aircraft. From the right, the Blue Angel Diamond. sensation of weightlessness or ballistic flight, similar to that experienced by astronauts in space, will now be felt by the two solo pilots. Approaching center point, Lieutenant Commander Rickoff and Lieutenant Commander Bratton will roll their aircraft to 90 degrees angle of bank and push forward on the stick as they perform the opposing knife edge pass. The Diamond is approaching for a maneuver that is likely familiar to those of you who have seen the Blue Angels perform in the past. From the right, at 400 miles per hour, the Diamond roll. All four aircraft flying as one in this graceful 360-degree rolling maneuver. The two solo pilots will next demonstrate the inverted flight capability of the F-18. Approaching inverted from the left and right, they will roll their aircraft 360 degrees, crossing over center point. Ladies and gentlemen, the opposing inverted to inverted roll. To the left, the Diamond is setting up for their next maneuver. Approaching center point on Captain Kesselring's command, all four pilots will simultaneously roll their aircraft 360 degrees as they perform the Diamond aileron roll. Here's Captain Kesselring.
A little false. Ready, headed.
Aircraft pilots and enthusiasts who appreciate the difficulties associated with carrier aviation will enjoy this next maneuver demonstrated by the two solo pilots. To the right, Lieutenant Commander Rickoff and Lieutenant Commander Bratton will establish a mirror image formation. However, look closely as both aircraft are in the carrier landing configuration as they approach for a maneuver we call the Fordus. For Navy and Marine Corps pilots who must land their aircraft on the small and sometimes pitching deck of an aircraft carrier at sea, slow-speed flight is just as important as high-speed flight. In order to demonstrate the dirty, slow-speed handling characteristics of the F-18, Captain Kesselring has called for the extension of the landing gear and tail hooks by the four Diamond pilots as they execute a maneuver performed by no other jet demonstration team in the world today. From the left, the Diamond Dirty Loop. To the left, Lieutenant Commander Rickoff is approaching to demonstrate the maximum performance turn radius of the F-18. He'll execute a 7.5 G afterburning turn and exit the show line to the right. As the Four Diamond pilots approach once again, you should notice two significant modifications. While the wingmen, Lieutenant Kapushansky and Lieutenant Goosens, maintain minimum wingtip to canopy separation, the flight leader and slot pilot are both in the inverted position. From the right, the Blue Angel, double, Farvel. From behind the spectator area, Blue Angels 5 and 6 are approaching the show line at 400 miles per hour. Having rolled their aircraft 270 degrees and crossed with minimum separation, observe as both pilots sustain 6 times the force of gravity to cross their aircraft over show center. Four Diamond pilots are now stacked down and aft on a 45-degree bearing line to establish a right echelon formation. From the right, at 378 miles per hour, the Blue Angel Echelon Parade. Setting up for their next maneuver, Blue Angels 5 and 6 are converging on center point to demonstrate the rapid roll rate of the F-18's fly-by-wire flight control system. Crossing center point, they'll complete 2 consecutive rolls, totaling 720 degrees, with a combined closure rate of over 800 miles per hour. Ladies and gentlemen, the opposing horizontal rolls. To the left, the Four Diamond pilots have established a left echelon formation. Approaching center point, Captain Kesselring will roll the formation 360 degrees into the 3 wingmen. Over the top, the Four Diamond pilots will showcase their precision formation flying as they make a subtle modification while in the inverted position. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blue Angel changeover roll. As they exit to the right, you will notice that the entire formation has shifted back into the Blue Angel Diamond. Now that Blue Angels 5 and 6 have your attention, you have seen firsthand the ability of a tactical aircraft at high speed to sneak into a target area virtually undetected. Lieutenant Commander Bratton will complete the maneuver with a series of vertical rolls, while Lieutenant Commander Rickoff completes his rendezvous with the Diamond to the right. To the right, Lieutenant Commander Rickoff has joined the Diamond in a line abreast formation. Still maintaining minimum separation, the pilots must now align themselves by looking 90 degrees from their flight path towards Captain Kesselring's aircraft. They'll climb up through vertical, under heavy G, as they perform the very difficult 5-plane line abreast loop. As they exit to the left, Captain Kesselring calls for another formation change prior to detaching Blue Angel number 5. You have seen several flight profiles of the F-18. The two solo pilots will next demonstrate precision roll rate control. Approaching center point, they will roll their aircraft 360 degrees, pausing after each 90 degrees of rotation, crossing center point in the inverted position. Ladies and gentlemen, the opposing 4-point hesitation roll. Behind the crowd, the 4 Diamond pilots are rolling out in trail formation for a dynamic separation maneuver. Crossing center point, they'll climb up through vertical and smoothly shift back into the Blue Angel Diamond. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blue Angel vertical break. Lieutenant Commander Rickoff and Lieutenant Commander Breton are approaching to demonstrate the impressive pitch rate of the F-18. Crossing center point, they'll execute a maximum performance climb with a split S reversal, bringing their aircraft back over show center. In front of the crowd, Captain Kesselring is rolling out the diamond for their next maneuver, the barrel roll break. He'll pull up through vertical, roll the formation 90 degrees, and perform a split S, finishing with a dynamic separation maneuver. As the formation pulls the level, each pilot will perform an individual brake turn and exit the flight line in a separate direction. The Blue Angel barrel roll brake. To the right, the two solo pilots are making their approach to the show line. Crossing center point, they will simultaneously roll their aircraft 420 degrees in section. Ladies and gentlemen, the double tuckover roll. The crowd, Captain Kesselring is rolling out the diamond formation for another dynamic maneuver, the low brake cross. Approaching center point, each pilot will perform an individual brake turn and exit the flight line in a separate direction. As each aircraft accelerates to 500 miles per hour, they'll perform a reversal turn back towards the show line. You should be able to follow their individual smoke trails as all four aircraft converge on center point with maximum closure and minimum separation. Lieutenant Commander Rickoff and Lieutenant Commander Brad are approaching to demonstrate the slow speed handling characteristics of the Super Hornet in the clean configuration. They'll pass before you, virtually standing Blue Angels 5 and 6 on their tails. At less than 120 miles per hour, the fly-by-wire flight controls provide the slow speed handling that sets the Super Hornet apart in the air-to-air combat arena. Ladies and gentlemen, the Section High Alpha Pass. In front of the crowd to the left, the Diamond is rolling out to demonstrate the awesome power of these General Electric F414 engines. Let's listen as Captain Kesselring calls for the selection of Afterburner by the 4 Diamond pilots. As they pass over center point, you will hear and feel the thunder of 8 engines producing 168,000 pounds of thrust. Blue Angels, home-based in Pensacola, Florida, completed an intensive winter training period at Naval Air Facility El Centro, California. The beautiful weather of the Imperial Valley provided us with the optimum conditions to fly each of the demonstration pilots on the 120 training flights necessary prior to our first public demonstration. Our show season opened on the 12th of March and runs through early November. The Blue Angels will perform 65 flight demonstrations this season while visiting 32 cities throughout the United States. The next portion of our flight demonstration will showcase all 6 aircraft flying together in formation. The Blue Angel Delta has been our signature 6-plane formation since 1958. Behind the crowd to the right, the 2 solo pilots have joined the Diamond to form the Blue Angel Delta. From the right, at 400 miles per hour, the Delta roll. All 5 wingmen maintaining position as they roll 360 degrees over center point. As they exit to the left, observe as Captain Kesselring brings the formation back towards the show line. Very shortly, all 6 aircraft will be approaching for the Blue Angel fleur-de-lis. In an aerial salute to our forward deployed forces, all 6 aircraft will separate, perform individual 360-degree rolls, and the 4 Diamond pilots will rendezvous through a looping maneuver. From the left at 450 miles per hour, the Blue Angel, fleur-de-lis. Let's listen in. As the 2 solo pilots exit behind the crowd to the right, the 3 wingmen are in the final stages of their rendezvous and will soon be back on the wings of Captain Kesselring and Blue Angel number 1. With the fleur-de-lis rendezvous complete, the Diamond will pass before you and exit the show line to the right. High and to the right, the 2 solo pilots are rejoining the Diamond for another Delta maneuver. As they rendezvous, observe as Captain Kesselring executes a reversal turn, rolling out the formation for the Delta loop break cross. Passing through vertical, Captain Kesselring tilts his head back, picking up the show line here on Lake Washington. Over the top, he's floating the formation to place them directly over show center. Now, watch closely as Captain Kesselring calls, smoke on, ready break. As each aircraft accelerates to 500 miles per hour, they'll perform a half-cubanate reversal turn. As they pull up and over the top, you should be able to follow their individual smoke trails as all 6 pilots simultaneously roll their aircraft 180 degrees and head back towards show center. From 6 different directions with maximum closure and minimum separation, they will converge on center point and cross with a combined closure rate of nearly 1,000 miles per hour. For a description of our maneuvers, as well as an in-depth look at our team and individual biographies, we invite you to visit our website and follow us on social media, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. In front of the crowd, the Delta's making their approach to the show line. Approaching center point, the entire formation will separate in dramatic fashion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blue Angel Delta Breakout. Ladies and gentlemen, your United States Navy Flight Demonstration Squadron represents a time-honored tradition of pride, professionalism, and excellence spanning 111 years of naval aviation. The 2022 team takes a great deal of pride in saluting Navy and Marine Corps aviators, maintenance crews, and support personnel everywhere. From the right, your 2022 Blue Angels. Ladies and gentlemen, representing your United States Navy and Marine Corps, the Blue Angels 2022.